Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, by now you've probably noticed my thumbnail that I designed. You know what? You know what? I was just being silly. All right, I was just being silly. It all started because I didn't want to put the word horny on my thumbnail. And so I thought, like, well, what can I do? Because I want the title to be accurate. So, anyway, you guys, this is what I came up with, and I'm still laughing. All right, so I'm not trying to offend anybody, but like on second hand, who would I offend? I mean, it's not like anybody is out there walking around with full blown natural horns on their head. Okay, so let's go ahead and come with me as I review and recap this episode about the Hungarians. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm well versed in designing thumbnails and many other graphic designs. If you'd like for me to work for you, go ahead and check the description box below. Okay, so let's not waste any time and get right to it. This is, of course, Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, episode 10. All right, and I believe it's called Horny Hungarian. I would like to say, oh, that's interesting, but it's actually not. Being that I've heard enough of the horniness from Joey, Mr. Gorga. So that was a turn off. And to be honest, when I saw it, I was like, what is this? Like, I actually thought that I had clicked into the wrong thing because I picked up the remote control, went into my DVR, and just clicked on what I thought, and it was true. The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I was looking down when I clicked in it because sometimes, the TV got to take time to get the, because I don't really watch a lot of TV, so it got to take time to boot up or whatever. And so naturally, I just look at the info part of it, which is on the right side. Anyway, you guys, when I saw Horny Hungarians, honest to goodness, okay, I thought I had clicked on the wrong thing and was like, what is this on my DVR? So here we go. Starts off with Margaret Jr. talking about her mother being Hungarian and her mother is Marge Sr. and she fled in the middle of the night when she was 10 years old to escape and she didn't speak the language and so she's going to throw her a 75th birthday party to celebrate her life. That is beautiful. Okay, wonderful. I remember I tried to throw my mom a surprise birthday party, and she's so nosy to where it ended up not being a surprise. But I did it anyway. All right, because a little part of me was like, since she done figured it out, I ain't gonna do it. But we did it. We had fun, and so just being able to do that for your mother while your mother is still alive is a blessing in and of itself. Okay. Then Marge goes on to talk about Bill and, saying that she just really hopes that he has a good time. And then she goes into saying that she did not invite Teresa. Okay. more on that later. All right, you guys. And Miss Teresa. Cut to fade to bring in Miss Teresa. All right. And I guess I'm a little cheery about Teresa because she wasn't acting a fool this episode. So I am, and you know what? I can hear people right now in the back of the room saying that's because she didn't go to the party. Knock it off. I am just going to appreciate the fact that Teresa didn't act a fool this episode. You know, she understands that she wasn't invited, doesn't understand necessarily why she doesn't, but because she says that she loves Margaret's mother, but she says she has no problem with not being invited. Okay, get into it. Although I will point out that Teresa, in this situation where they are having disagreement, feud, whatever, sticky situation, whatever you want to call it, Teresa was still humble enough to include both Tracy and Margaret, yet Margaret was not capable of including her. And we'll get to that a little bit later because I have a theory on why. So anyway, Teresa's packing up. She's packing up and they share a scene. It is Teresa and Dolores. Now, what's unique to me about them sharing a scene, because they share scenes all the time, we know that. But okay. Dolores doesn't seem to have had a solid scene alone like she normally does. So, and this wasn't the only double scene. They had two double scenes, and this is one of them. So, Teresa is packing up with her girls, and they are going over the memories, and that is very touching. It really is. It's a touching moment. They all cry. Almost made me want to cry. Okay, and but then I started thinking about all the times when I've moved, and honestly, I was happy. Because my situations in general, anyway, they were always moving on up to the so I've been happy to, and which, that reminds me, which I said it last time too. I saw an interview with Gia where she said that her and her sisters are perfectly fine now. Yes, they were sad in the beginning of the move, but they she was like, love our place. We love Louis, we love his children, and she said the only thing that they have to remember is to not walk around naked, just to put clothes on. She didn't say naked, my bad. She said the only thing they have to remember is to put clothes on. So, Anyway, so donations for Dolores, baby. Teresa is donating loads and loads, bags and bags and bags of, looks like clothes and toys for an organization that Dolores has to do with. And I think that is absolutely 1000% wonderful. I've done that myself, and it truly feels good to give back. And I do feel like it's an obligation. Like when you're blessed, I do feel like you are obligated to pay it forward. I do. And I'm saying it like that, and it may sound defensive, but it's just because I know some people who don't, and that's just weird to me. And I can't. I don't know. I just don't like a world where there's the have and have nots, and the have don't help the have nots or whatever. That's ridiculous. But anyway, let me focus before I go left, okay, and get the preaching or whatever up on here. So, Dolores and Teresa talk, and Dolores, they do talk about the party, and Teresa happens to mention that she does feel like Margaret is toxic, yet she does love her mother. But because Margaret is toxic, she says she's okay not to be invited. All right, we got it. Now, Dolores talks about a vacation, and this is the first time where Dolores, and you know what? I'm not sure if she actually said Nashville with Teresa, but I know later on, Frank and her say Nashville. So it's Dolores's vacation that gets all effed up. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, cut to Melissa and Joey. All right. So with Melissa and Joey, Tracy, Tegan, and Tiki goes and visits them. Tegan is their soon-to-be 5-year-old who will soon to be entering kindergarten. The first thing that the ladies talk about is the children, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I fell asleep. All right. And then when I woke up, Tiki was telling Tracy that he spoke to Teresa in the outfield and disarmed her with his charm. And you know what? Tracy still seemed bothered. Can we say insecurity? Oh my gosh. It just so happens, too, that I just uploaded a reading on Tracy Lynn Johnson slash Tiki Barber's wife on my other channel, Indigo Sage Tarot. I will drop that link down below in the description box because you know what? You know what? I know. That reading explains why she's insecure. It really does. Like after you listen to that reading, you can kind of tell, that she's insecure. And if she wasn't, that's the crazy thing. If she wasn't insecure, she would be able to focus the manifestation power that she has. But anyway, if you want to hear all about that, go over to my other channel, Indigo Sage Tarot, and the link will be below. We also get a scene with Melissa where she takes her daughter to her trainer, and I'm gonna tell you something. I feel like just watching that scene, she doesn't normally do that. This was completely 100% okay, done just for TV, just for the cameras, just for the story. It's something that she does not normally always routinely do, which adds to Antonia's frustration with her ass. Okay, and of course, all of this is my commentary and opinions, not to be used as facts. It's alleged and so on and so forth, okay, except for everything that is facts. Moving right along. But she doesn't routinely take her to her trainer. I could just tell by her demeanor and Antonia's demeanor. And then this lady had the audacity. First of all, I think she was clapping and cheering her on. You don't do that during your child's practice or physical therapy, training, whatever it is. You can't even do that with your kids' awards assemblies. They always make an announcement and say, please hold all applause to the end. So it was ridiculous and made even more ridiculous when this lady, Melissa Gorga, had the nerve to say, I felt like you had just given up on life. And Antonia shot her a look which said it all for everyone who was watching, who didn't fall asleep. Like, girl, would you please STFU? Okay, all right. It was ridiculous, and I rolled my eyes so hard I got a headache. Moving right along. All right, cut to Jackie. All right, so she takes the therapist up on her offer or suggestion rather. I like to call it homework. All right, when your therapist tells you to do something, it's called homework. All right, and you'd be better off if you do it if your therapist is a good one. Now, she does go to treat her children to ice cream. She gets a small cup of ice cream and begins to pick at it. She complains that it has cake in it. But once she takes a bite, baby, I think she even closes her eyes. That's when you know it's good. She proclaims out loud, "It's so good!" Exclamation mark. So, in the end, it does turn into soup and she stops eating it. So I don't know how many bites she took, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm glad that she took several. Okay, they showed that she took several, and the children shared with her, and they were all excited and very supportive, and I love it. I love these family moments. Okay, I really do. They just warm my heart up. So anyway, I'm happy that she completed the task. So then, cut to her being in another session of therapy, which I am so glad, baby. This is number 2 that we've seen, okay? Because I didn't have much faith that she would go and do the work because she was so reluctant. But this is one of the times where I am happy to be wrong. I don't have a problem with being wrong. It's just that most of the time I'm not. However, I'm happy to be wrong this time. I had thought anyway that she would go to 2 or 3, so this is the second one. So I don't know if I'm wrong just yet. She talks about skipping a meal or the equivalent to make up for the ice cream, and she speaks as though that's normal, and the therapist has to interject and tell her normal people don't skip meals to make up for ice cream. And what shocked me is just how much Jackie was shocked at that statement. Okay, it was jarring, and I now see why that's classified as a disorder, because that's like common knowledge to me in my mind, and probably in yours who's listening, perhaps most of us. But for her to wrap her mind around it, she completely looked shocked. So, again, I'm just praying for her in all seriousness. I know I make jokes and stuff, and sometimes I am joking, but right now I'm serious. I'm praying for her. All right. And we're going to add Tracy to that list, and I'll tell y'all why a little bit later, and you'll find out why if you go check out that reading. But anyway, because they could be in the same club. Okay, I'm just going to say it. They could be in the same club. Except Tracy ain't talking about hers. Anyway, maybe like Jackie, she'll have to talk about it at her 4th season in, if she make it. Get into it if Tracy make it. But back to Jackie. Her therapist tells her that she needs to add at least one thing a day in addition to what she already eats. And it's funny because at first Jackie was kind of nodding, and then when the therapist said in addition, she said in addition, the therapist was like in addition. So she's like, okay, So anyway, I know me and my sages, we are wishing Miss Jackie Goldschneider well. And let's continue. Cut to Jennifer and Bill. Okay. And they are discussing what the horny Hungarian who invited them to the party. And Jennifer is saying that she is excited about being invited. Bill said he would come to support his wife, baby. I know that's right. That's what I'm talking about. You better come on, Bill, man. Which actually I'm with Bill for, sitting out the baseball game and being irritated and pissed at how they was talking to him. But he gonna go ahead and put all that to the side and go to support his wife, and I know that's right. He better. Anyway, and then they discuss how Evan had texted him an apology, and Bill replied with an okay emoji, which kind of says that he's still a little, pissed, and y'all can kiss his what? Ass. Okay. Anyway, because you know what, they was just over the top. But anyway, so then cut to Joey, Melissa's husband. And this man is saying that Bill needs to act like a man, and he's not afraid to tell him. So I guess he's saying he need to man up and apologize to him because of what his wife did when he was kicked out the house. Jenny feels like Bill should have called him the next day and apologized and said this and said that. And look, I ain't going down that rabbit hole. What I'm going to focus on is what in the heck does he mean that he's going to tell him that he needs to man up and act like a man and all this kind of stuff. What the hell are you talking about, little man? With your little man syndrome having ass. What are you talking about? Why would Joey decide that at this party, at this birthday party for a 75-year-old immigrant who had a rough life growing up, all right, why would this man decide that he's going to bring drama and become a diva at this party all over someone needing to act like a man? What is wrong with you, boy? Don't do that. That doesn't even make any sense. She's trying to celebrate life. She had a rough one. And you are determined to bring drama, and you telling your wife these words. You telling your wife, I ain't afraid to tell her. He need to act like a man. Acting like a diva, a dramatic diva at a birthday party, that's acting like a man? Boy, shut up. You know what? I was getting ready to say what Jennifer called him, that he was acting like a little B-boy. Anyway, now continuing. Let's continue to the party, shall we? We shall. Okay, you guys. So everyone arrives to the Hungarian party, and Joe tells Jenny, don't start here. Okay. Don't start none, won't be none now. And then Bill arrives, and then they cut to Frank saying in a confessional that he doesn't even think that Bill owes Joey an apology. Okay. Jenny, and I don't either. Anyway, and actually it's a I don't know if I do or if I don't. Like, I don't feel like Bill owes him an apology. But anyway, I'm not going to go all the way into that as of right now. So Joey tells Bill, you hurt me. And I am tired of Jenny coming out of Joey and being so damn dramatic. You were not hurt. If you were hurt, why not speak to him like a man and like go out and have drinks and lunch and stuff like you do with the other men, and just talk like a normal like human being who was hurt, instead of saving that and instead of being immature and saying F you in a text message and deciding while you're at the table that, oh, you were serious. Okay, I don't know if y'all caught that, because at first he said, well, at first I wasn't, then I was. You know, like, what? Anyway, and then deciding to bring it up at the damn whatever the Hungarian party. You know what? I'm so tired. I am so tired of Joanny that I don't know what to do. I can't even speak straight. But anyway, Jenny apologizes to Bill, and Bill says, I'm glad that we can get to a better place. Then, jokingly, he threatens to take a scalpel and carve Bill's bitch in Joey's ass. So it appears that they're good. Dolores is in the girl group, Frank is in the men's group, and both of them bring up the vacation to Nashville. Then Tracy begins to talk about Tiki and Teresa, and how Teresa forgave Tiki, can't forgive her. Why is she so good with Tiki? Why does she forgive Tiki? My issue is Tracy. Tracy. Listen, your man, first of all, this is about the fourth scene, not in this one, but like two scenes, last episode, two scenes this episode, where she is harping on the fact that Teresa is good with her husband. Now, I don't know if she is afraid that she is going to lose him the way that she got him. I don't know. Okay? What y'all don't know is how much I want to slam my fist on this table right now as I'm saying I don't know. Because I'm tired, Tracy. Tracy, settle down with your insecurities. Bring them in, hun. Okay? Because he already answered it. Now, y'all can't convince me that he didn't already answer it off camera. You can't convince me that she didn't harp on it with him in the car on the way home, at home, in the bed, while they getting it on, back in the car, while they go to an event, and then at the event, and then while they spending time with Tegan, their child, and Melissa and Joey, she brought it up again. And that's when Tiki said, I talked to her in the outfield. We squashed it. It's my charm. Boop, boop, boop. Baby, I'm with you. Knock it off. I thought that would be the end. But no, it wasn't. She brought it up again. I'm tired of it. But again, I'm going to remind you guys, go check out the reading I did on her, because that may explain her insecurities, because clearly this woman is insecure. I would almost see where she's coming from if Tiki had not spoke to her in the outfield. But also, I don't know if you guys remember, she did say that she didn't like him or had an issue with him when he was tying up her boy Louis's ankle. She went over there and talked about him running his mouth. So anyway, we're gonna move on away from that, because Miss Tracy I hate to say it, but she's actually getting on my nerves. And I hate to say it because I had hopes for her in the beginning. It looked like she had a normal brain, like a good one, like a rational, that's what I mean. A rational state of mind. And this man thing is becoming, it's I can see she's becoming irrational. And again, maybe it's because she's fearing that you lose them how you get them. I don't know. Anyway, Margaret goes around and checks on all the guests, and I notice her white jumpsuit is identical to her burgundy jumpsuit in her confessionals. Okay? And I just wonder in my mind, how many does she actually have in her closet, of different colors? Because I want everybody right now, raise your hand if you've ever found a piece of clothing. All right, it could be shoes, just any piece of clothing. It could be gloves, whatever, that you like so much that you got it in every color. My hand slowly rises. Okay, it was shoes for me, baby. It was shoes. Ugh. Okay. And I loved it. I didn't regret that at all. And honestly, anyway, honey, so with that being said, I have been noticing fashion a little bit more lately, which reminds me, I'm currently editing my first episode of Sight on Scene, which is a short little lunch break show to put a smile on you guys' face under the Laughing While Logic umbrella, okay, production company. All right, get into it. So anyway, I'm gonna be bringing you guys mini small shows that can be viewed during lunch break, and Sight on Scene is one of them, and I am editing it now. Can't wait to release it. Okay, so be looking out for that. That'll be the next thing coming right here on this channel. So if you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified when Sight on Scene appears on scene. Okay, and of course, definitely, I'm going to ask you to click that like button. Now, cut to Jackie at the party, and she says that she's overwhelmed with the buffet. And she says that she's going to put a lot of food on her plate so people can see her eating. Then she says, and this is quote, "Of course, I'm not going to eat all of it." Then she goes on to admire Jennifer scarfing down the goulash and gleefully telling everyone, "This is good. Goulash is good." And Jackie talks about that in her confessional, how she just wishes that she could speak like that about food and fearlessly eat it. And then she says she can't wait to be in that position. And I thought that was nice. So, like, she has a goal, And cut to Jennifer saying that she realizes, okay, after the party, that she realizes that she has more in common with Margaret than she thought. She said that they are a lot alike. And I'm going to tell you something, okay? And yes, I'm shamelessly plugging myself, but it is all in relation because about last week, a week and a half ago, I just did a reading on Jennifer and Margaret, where in the beginning I just bust out and say these women are more alike than I thought. So for her to say my exact words was just like, whoa, okay? So I had to mention it. But anyway, moving right along. Now this is the last thing I want to say. Last thing I want to say to you guys. Joe, and I'm talking about Margaret's husband, baby. Joe says to Frank in regards to Jenny acting up at the party. Frank asks him, "Are you going to tell him not to, act up at the party?" And Joe says, "I have to. Yeah, I have to." So clearly, Margaret told Joe, "You are in charge of the men's today, tonight. If they act up, that's your ass." Okay? Because he ain't playing. And he does march over there and tell him, "Hey, not tonight, boy, not tonight. Not tonight. Not tonight, Jenny. Okay, I'm Joe. I ain't Joanna. And you best be Joey, not Jenny. Not tonight." Okay? Evan ain't Eva. Frank, he was a little bit Francesca, but Tiki was Tiki. Everybody left. Tiki left Takesha at home. Everybody left him at home. Everybody, all their alter egos was at home. Joe told him, "Don't you bring out Jenny, because Joe, who left Joanna at home, already know that's his ass. Him and Margaret already had a conversation. Okay? Now, that's mostly because Margaret is in charge of everything else. All right? So the least she wants to be worried about is Bill being confronted by, what's his name? Jenny. Which is the reason Teresa was not invited. That's the sole purpose why Teresa wasn't invited, because although Joe had his assignment, he was in charge of the men. Margaret knows her assignment. She's in charge of everything else and everybody else, including the women, the kids, the caterers, the music, the dancing, the celebration, the toast, everything, right down to her mama's rollers in her hair. But the one thing she knows is she's not in charge of, and that is Teresa Giudice. Therefore, Teresa was not invited, which lets me know, at least you know you ain't in charge of her. Because the way Margaret acts, she acts like she's in charge of that entire group. And if you stand back and look at it, she actually is, I'd say, which is sad, and they need to not be that way because I don't like it. It is boring to me for everyone to take their marching orders from one person as if the whole group has one brain. But the one person who's not sharing that brain, and don't make no jokes in the comments, the one person who's not sharing that brain is Teresa. So therefore she wasn't invited. Point blank and period. So take that how you want to. But for me, at least she knows she cannot, will not, and will never be, at least until hell freezes over, in charge of Teresa. And so my point is that I don't think it was so personal exactly that, like, oh, Teresa can't come because I'm mad at her. But it's more so of she doesn't do what I tell her to do, okay? Because if any of the other ladies had acted up, like gotten upset about something, Margaret knows she could tell them, hey, calm down, stop it. Not at my mom's, not on my watch, like Yana has said, not on my watch. And they would pipe down. This is about being able to pipe down if you get piped up, I guess, however you want to put it. But anyway, she ain't in charge of Teresa, so therefore Teresa wasn't invited. And that I feel like would apply to any other person, period, which is why it is personal to Teresa, but then again it's kind of not personal. Anyone who Margaret felt like she wouldn't be able to control, they wouldn't be invited. I don't know. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, because when episodes are boring and I gotta bleed them out, I start thinking about everything, right down to their damn clothes. Okay. With that being said, remember to click like, subscribe, and click the bell. And I will see you real soon. Be safe. Wash your hands. Okay? Bye.